And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are talking the rise and fall of Alpine, or what in the Alpine is going on with the former Renault, former Lotus, former Benetton, former Toleman team. It's been an absolute disaster this year after starting on one of the slowest cars. Yes, they have improved the cars. People leaving. Yeah, it's, let's be fair, not been a great year for Alpine at all, has it? And I wanted to go back over 10 years, all the way back to 2012 when they were named Lotus. The team officially became Lotus from Renault in 2012, and F1 returnee Kimi Raikkonen and Romain Grosjean scored several podiums over the course of the season, consistently on leading pace, but the team had to wait for Abu Dhabi to, well, let's be fair, get that Kimi Raikkonen victory when he said, yes, I know what I'm doing. And forward to 2013, burst out the gate with Raikkonen winning in Australia in a quick and tyre friendly. It was the E21 was the name of the car. And the car proves a good match for most circuits and conditions, helping Raikkonen and Grosjean to another 13 podiums. But it was all those podiums in 2013 that almost put them out of business because Raikkonen had quite an elusive contract. Yes, he may have not been paid much pro rata. Pro rata, is that a word? But he was paid per point. And, well, it was in the millions. So, forward to 2015, they did plummet down the order. Overall, to 8th, the team struggled to make their car, called the E22, the first Renault hybrid power unit, reliable or indeed competitive. And Grosjean scored just 8 points, and Maldonado just 2. I mean, not particularly great when you think about it. The year before, 13 podiums. Was 2015 any better? Well, this was the final season under the Lotus name before that Renault takeover. The form is much improved over 2014 with the Mercedes power engine, Mercedes power unit, rather than the Renault engine. They accumulated 78 points in the hands of Grosjean and Maldonado. The former fine third place, yes, a third place, being best of the rest in Belgium, which wasn't too bad at all. But in 2016, it became Renault again. And it was a tough year of transition as the RS16 car, originally designed around a Mercedes engine, it proves far from competitive in the hands of former McLaren racer Kevin Magnussen and former Lotus tester Jolyon Palmer. Now, it scored on just 3 occasions with a best of 7th, and that was Magnussen in Russia, a lowly 9th in those final standings. 2017, okay, big improvements were made with the team's first car designed around essentially their own power plant. They were Renault again, yes. Red Bull had been winning previously with Renault and were doing quite well with the Renault engine, yet they were moaning about the power of the Renault engine, and this was the works Renault team, albeit, yes, getting beaten by them, but still, it resulted in a 7-fold increase in points and a 4-place leap in the standings. Jolyon Palmer was placed as Nico Hülkenberg's teammate mid-season, and Carlos Sainz joining to form what was at the time one of the grid's strongest driver lineups. Roll on to 2018 and the rise up the grid continues. They saw off Haas to become best of the rest behind what you'd consider the top 3 teams at the time. Not quite podium contenders back in the 2013 Lotus days, but 5th places in Azerbaijan and Germany were their best results. But their obvious potential, it lured Daniel Ricciardo away from Red Bull and into 2019. Progress up the championship, or it's kind of halted, ironically, by new Renault customers McLaren that beat them. They demoted them to 5th, sadly, in the standings, despite Daniel Ricciardo securing their best result to date with a P4 in Italy. Could 2020 be better? Well, it was. 3 podium finishes, the first since Renault's works return. That signalled a significant step forward ahead of the team's Alpine rebrand as Fernando Alonso's comeback for 2021. And yes, they won in 2021. A maiden win, though, not from Alonso, but from a certain Esteban Ocon. Aided by a staunch defence, though, by Alonso, because it was a charging Lewis Hamilton that Fernando Alonso held up that really helped Esteban Ocon finishing in 1st place. And also, Alonso scored that podium in Qatar. So onwards to the new rules, 2022. No podiums, but they outperformed arch rivals McLaren to rise P4 in the final standings. Alonso frustrated, though, by reliability woes. You kind of couldn't help yourself but think, what could they have done? Where could they have finished had they been more reliable? And Alonso ended up departing at season's end for Aston Martin to be replaced by Pierre Gasly, forming what was an all-French driver lineup with Esteban Ocon, a super team, if you will. Roll on now to 2023 and a lonely 6th in the standings. Some major mid-season management changes. Otmar gone. Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly prove closely matched, each scoring a podium in Monaco and Zandvoort, respectively. And then there's this year. Yeah, not particularly very good. One of the worst cars at the beginning of the year. They have improved. Flavio Briatore is back, albeit I don't know how helpful he really is in all but name. They have just got a new team principal. Bruno Famin is gone, but still, let's just say more people have left that are significant than have joined. And now there are also rumours that they're going to give up on their engine. And about that engine front, I mean, let's have a chat about that, shall we? Because I think that's interesting, to say the least. So, the active F1 manufacturer is said, or rumoured to be, shutting down their historic factory ahead of a move. Yes, that is going to be Alpine. I mean, no, surely it can't be. Renault's historic engine production site in France has been rocked by the shocking announcement that it will cease producing engines for Alpine. And that's according to news site L'Equipe. I hope I got that pronunciation right, but the decision has left the factory's 350 employees, many of whom are deeply involved in the F1 programme, stunned and anxious about their future, which really, really sucks, doesn't it? So it is the heart. I mean, it's been where it is, and I think Villeray-Châtillon, it's the heart of Renault's F1 engine production, and that's been since the manufacturer entered the sport. It's been the birthplace of engines that have secured 12 world championships with teams like Williams, Benetton, Renault themselves in 05 and 06, and who can forget Red Bull 2010 to 2013. Now, despite this storied legacy, Renault announced last week that it would halt engine production suppose at the site, instead shifting focus to its chassis facility in Enstone, UK. And from 2026, the rumour is that Alpine is going to be is going to source its engines from Mercedes, which is absolutely bizarre. And the announcement has left workers feeling betrayed. We didn't see this coming, said a union representative at the site, and it's a stab in the back, a betrayal. We've developed engines here capable of winning 12 F1 championships, and now we're told we can't anymore. The decision's caused significant unrest among the employees, with many already taking sick leave due to the stress and uncertainty. And details of the factory's future are going to be discussed in a social and economic meeting, apparently, but the absence of F1 engine production leaves a significant void. The site, adorned with tributes to legends like Senna, faces an uncertain future without its iconic F1 role. Renault have been in Formula One for quite a long time. And it was the race that decided, that kind of like convinced me when I listened to the podcast. And it was Scott Mitchell on the Races podcast. He said, and I think this is quite interesting, and he put it in a much better way than I can, and it's admitting to the entire world that you can't build an engine like Mercedes, Ferrari, Honda, Audi, and a drinks company. Then that's the opposite of marketing strategy. It's an implosion of your credibility. Such an unprecedented overhaul in level of instability not seen in modern Formula One. I just don't think, he said, Renault actually thinks about the level of investment in F1, and it fits into this idea that can we be a works team that is not really a works team? Can we own a team and call this a team name and then use somebody else's engine? It works from a commercial point of view, and I'm sure the return on investment would go massively if they follow this way, but that's just a really underwhelming and uncompetitive and unambitious existence, isn't it? He goes on to say, and I'm sure they don't care if that means they will do better than they are doing now. Probably they won't care, but I don't think they should be celebrated and encouraged. So I guess the question is, if they are not selling entirely, would they be willing to sell a big stake of it or more? And if that's the case, have there been worse team names in recent years than Alpine, Andretti, Cadillac? Amen. Mic drop. And I completely agree. Alpine getting rid of their engine, I think, makes Alpine the biggest joke in Formula One. I don't think that's really harsh. You've got a team there that has such history. Tolman, Benetton, with Michael Schumacher, winning races. But then championships in 94 and 95. Championships in 2005 with Alonso. 2006 as well. And yeah, they changed to Alpine, but it seems ever since they changed to Alpine, when they had their they did have that lucky-ish win, but fair play to Ocon for holding on. But it's just been meh. They are the team of meh. If you want 3 letters to describe it, it would be MEH and add an exclamation mark to the end of it. And I think what Scott Mitchell said on the race podcast absolutely reigns true. And it's really now a question of when, if you read the reports, they are officially going to get rid of their engine, rid of their engine department, have a Mercedes and still call themselves Alpine. It's just bizarre. Yes, I appreciate Aston Martin, Honda is equally bizarre, but then Aston Martin didn't have an engine department that had previously won Formula One championships. Renault did. It's done okay for the Alpine brand. There has apparently been selling more Alpine cars, but I still think it would do more for the Renault brand. Calling it Renault, rebranding them as Renault, maybe helping Andretti get in with the Renault engine so they had some kind of partner even, but no. Mediocrity is Alpine. Yes, well, I'm pretty sure doing an Alpine is probably gonna, it's gonna be not scoring any points and getting lapped in the future. I feel sorry for Pierre Gasly, and potentially, Jack Doohan if he gets the Alpine seat, because yes, they might be a bit more competitive, but it's clearly a team that Renault does not care about. And I feel sorry for all the talented people that are still there. They're not significant in names because, they don't stand out. There's no, Otmar, etc., Alan Permain, but big names have gone. But there's still a lot of talent. There is still a lot of talent there, and people that love Formula One, and that is the biggest shame. There are people that love Formula One and are proud of what they do at the Renault factory. Yeah, okay, they haven't built an amazing engine of late, probably because they've not given the resources by Renault. A joke of a motorsport company, and the senior managers there should absolutely hang their heads in shame. They are an embarrassment. Should they be in Formula One? The very fact that Andretti has given all those reasons, if you want to go back to have a look at our Andretti video, but the very fact that Andretti got told, no, you can't come into Formula One, and these people, because you can't build, the engine, you're going to be slow, you're going to look silly, and then we have this team that potentially look really, can't build an engine, going to sell their engine, going to call it a mess. No, you don't get that, Alpine. You don't. If you want to see more Formula One news, maybe less me ranting, give us a subscribe. That would be absolutely amazing. Hit that notification button so you don't miss a video. We do Formula One, we do rally, we do touring car, as well as the odd bit of gaming. But yeah, rise and fall of Alpine, definitely. I think hold your head in shame, rebrand yourself to Renault, keep those engines, sort it out. Don't come up with a 100 race plan. I think just do better.